there, Paul is in the house. How are you doing, my friend?
Mr. Ronnie, I'm good, and yourself?
Fantastic, man. I can't complain. What's your week been like?
It's been good. Busy, actually, a busy week so far, yeah. It's
There we
only
go. Do
Tuesday,
you?
but it's been busy.
Yeah, it
Hmm?
starts off like that. You still work for the city,
Yeah.
of course, eh?
Yes, and still working from home,
Okay.
but a lot of
Okay. So
running up and down in between, yeah.
yeah, so I've got clients that also works for the city as a personal
Mm.
trainer. So some of them are working half at work, half at home, and the others are
Okay.
full time there. So you are full time at home still,
Full time at home, yeah. Mm.
and that's technically you busier, if I'm not mistaken, because when
Yeah.
you're at work, you have your working hours.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Half past six till
Wonderful.
three.
Okay, for 6:30.
Yeah.
No, 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 I'm
Yeah.
gonna add some slides into the stream. There we go. Righto. So the Gunning Truth, the podcast, I deep dive into everything Arsenal. I am on YouTube now. I'm on Spotify and on iTunes, so you can actually get all of my content over there. And then
Nice.
this is the show for today, Paul. So Paul, we're first gonna have a chat with you. I'll get to that slide now, and then you
Okay.
mustn't forget to get your picture to me. Then I can add it in
Oh, yeah,
next time.
yeah, yeah.
And then we're going to just discuss, I've been sending you loads of information on our WhatsApp broadcasting. So
Yeah.
that kit rumors, we'll go through that. Then there's obviously contract talk. Then I've got my dream signings, which I've obviously prepared
Yeah.
in the slides. And then obviously I'm going to ask you for yours. We're going to
Yes.
have a look at the last 10 games for Arsenal. So I've kind of got a slide where it's both our 10 games and Man City's 11 games because they have a game in hand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we're going to go and have a look at this Saturday's Arsenal Leeds game. So I've got a couple of tidbits on there, some stuff you would know
Mm.
already. And then I'll just promote my upcoming shows afterwards, and then we'll call it a night. Happy with that?
Cool. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Wonderful stuff. Right, Paul, look at that. A
Hmm.
whole blank page there for you. Tell me about the Arsenal history when it comes to Paul. When did you first start supporting Arsenal?
Okay, I started supporting Arsenal 97, 98 season. So I think that was Wenger's second season in charge.
That's very good, yeah. First
Yeah,
full season.
so players like Overmars, Bergkamp, Petit, those players, Adams, Keown, Winterburn, Dixon,
Sure.
Seaman, those are the guys that I fell in love with for the Arsenal. Yeah,
You
former
notice
former
I'm the
Manchester United
size of
fan.
the tongue, the names, eh?
Yeah, former Manchester United fan, but there was too
You was
much of them around. Huh?
so when was this like when you were very young? Obviously, your
Yeah.
family members.
Yes, yeah. My elder brother supports United, and most people supported United back then.
Back then,
So
yeah.
early 90s. Yeah. But then there was too much of them around. So I thought no, let's
You
let's
get the
switch.
Arsenal bug.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I can just add my story onto that, so I didn't support any team. So I was what people won't know. Both you and me, we both
Mm.
technically rugby people. I'm not
Yeah.
saying mostly rugby, but we enjoy rugby as well. So for me, it was
Mm.
cricket and rugby when I was like very young. So we obviously the
Okay.
same age, round about 87, 88. You're
Yeah.
88.
87.
87 as well. So I'm also 87. So
Yeah.
we obviously kind of have a similar background type of a thing. We don't support the same rugby team or the same nation,
Mm.
but
Mm.
not the same province. But I think it was probably similar. Were when you grew up, was it football from the start because brothers and that was Man United, or was it other
Yes.
sports?
No, it was mainly football.
Okay, so it was
My
football for
earliest
you.
memory was that missed penalty of Baggio in the World Cup
Oh yes,
in
94
'94.
final.
One of my earlier memories. I was about seven,
Yeah, yeah,
'94. Yeah,
94.
and watching those games with my father and my brothers. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
it was
So
it was
your
football
first
first,
World
and
Cup
then
was 94.
yeah, and then '95. Obviously, the rugby bug hit.
Yes, yes, yes. That's where I my technically
95.
my sport started there, and then it was just
Yeah,
rugby all the way. But
yeah.
no, that's good to know, Paul. Have you got? It's going to be very difficult for you to now offhand say this, but have you
Mm.
got a favorite game in memory? Doesn't need to be the
Sure.
Emirates era; it can be the Highbury era as well. Anything that
Yeah.
comes to mind, even if it's more than one.
Sure.
Tough, eh?
Yeah. Tough one. Tough one. Because there's a lot.
10,000. Yeah, we watched like
There's a
10,000,
lot.
20,000 football games.
Yeah. Probably was it the 5-2 against Spurs? Where Van
Okay, so
Persie scored the hat-trick. That one.
okay, yeah,
That's
I don't
that's
think
one
it's
of my favorite.
two.
Huh? He scored two.
Yeah, I
Yeah, but
think
I
so.
think we came back. We were down 1-0 or
Mm.
2
I think we
2
were
0 and then
2
we
0.
came back. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's
it
that
was
that
2-0.
stands
And the
out.
Bayo scored a penalty, then he got sent off for Spurs.
Mm,
Then I can remember we
yeah,
scored two brilliant goals just before halftime, and then we smashed them in
yeah,
the second half. I think it was 2-2,
yeah.
and then it went to 5-2. So I've always said, Paul, my favorite game was the Highbury era. You might remember this game. I think it might have been our matric year, possibly.
Mm,
Another thing that people won't know, we were in matric in the same class. That was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
Hilarious, yeah.
That was fun times. That was
That
fun
was
times.
amazing. That was
The team
amazing.
sheets and stuff.
Oh yes, I remember that. I remember that in class we were
We
supposed to
did the
learn,
team
but we're
sheets
doing
for
team.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't remember the exact year. I actually should research
Mm,
it, but there was an Arsenal game. Reyes played, so I'm assuming it was
mm,
the season after the Invincibles,
yes.
where we played Middlesbrough, and I think we won 5-3. And it
Mm,
was one of the craziest games. So if you have a moment, go on YouTube and just check that Arsenal Middlesbrough game. You will
yeah.
remember it will bring back flashbacks where Reyes scored an amazing
Mm,
goal, Perez and all those
mm,
guys. That what a game that
yes.
was.
Yeah.
So that's something that
I
stands
think that
out
was,
from the Highbury era.
yeah, that was our last
Yeah.
season at Highbury, I think, with the
No, no,
maroon
no.
and the gold.
We were playing. We were playing. No, it was before that. It was Reyes left already when we played in that burgundy shirt, or I don't know what to call that
Yes.
color. But it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
the last season. This was the season after the Invincible. So we didn't win the league.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we finished second.
Yes, when we had the was
It
it the
was a red.
O2,
Yeah, it was still
the red
O2, and
with
then we
the
had
yellow with the yellow piping.
with the yellow piping. Yeah, I think it was that one.
Mm.
I must just I didn't think we were going to go into that tangent, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
should have actually had that ready for you. Seeing that I've got
yeah.
everything else ready, but that's my favorite game. Have you? This is going to be
Mm.
probably harder than your favorite game because of the names you just mentioned. Who is your
Mm.
favorite player in
Sure.
your life? And obviously, an Arsenal player.
Yeah, yeah. Probably Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I always have a difficulty going between him and Dennis Bergkamp, but it
Yes.
has to be.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
finished things off,
But
and Bergkamp started it, type
yes,
of a thing.
yes.
Or he was the
Yeah,
link.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
say, he was the link man. It
Yeah.
started at Seaman, then
Mm.
probably Campbell more so later on, but Tony Adams,
Yeah,
Vieira, and then Bergkamp Henry. So,
yeah,
that was what a team that was. It's actually shocking that we didn't win
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. They should have won more. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, let's not talk
But
about
there's such a
2000.
lot of favorites. There's a lot of favorites. Kanu,
No,
Waltord,
yeah, and
Nelke.
the unsung heroes, eh? When you talk about Wiltord and Kanu, they didn't play as
Yes,
much as the others, but they
yeah.
always seem to have an important goal.
Yes, they scored the vital goals, the crucial
I
goals.
think
Yeah.
100%. Right, Paul, you ready to move on to the next slide?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get this going. Right. Right. So, disclaimer: whenever I send Paul pictures of the kits, they obviously are not looking the best because everybody's editing onto everything. So, Paul,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
look at the yellow one, so I think both of them actually. So they are what you call Chinese cuts. So that is when you go to these
Oh,
Chinese manufacturers, and then they
yes.
obviously, I'm assuming from a load of kit rumors, they then make their own
Mm.
thing. So that kit doesn't
Okay.
even look like it's going to look like the real thing, but the
Yes, yes.
design is similar. Okay, so
Yeah.
normally, where are we now? We're now in April. We're heading towards April. So normally you
Mm,
get the rumors round about Feb every year. Then you get this
mm,
Chinese manufacturer cuts that appears on
yeah.
footy headlines and that. So
Mm,
or I'm gonna make an estimated guess here and say that you are a no for both of them.
Yeah, I'm a no for both of them.
Can I tell you why
You
I'm a
know
no
the
for the home shirt? Because you can't have gold when you haven't gotten that silverware.
ah,
I think it's
yeah.
a little bit too early. But
It's a little bit yeah.
if you notice, I think we had a Champions League gold numbering before. The red and the gold doesn't go so lekker with it.
Mm,
If you think
mm,
about it, it was brilliant
yeah.
with that burgundy kit that we discussed earlier. I don't know if burgundy is
Yes.
the right name, but
I think it's like a burgundy. Yeah.
it probably is. So that kit that went
Yeah.
really nice because we played in the Champions League with the
Yes.
gold numbers, and I think our league
Yeah.
league numbers were black and gold. So
Mm,
it doesn't quite look right on because I'm assuming our Premier League. I don't think no Premier League numbering does it's not going to be gold. It's going to be
that's
white
gonna be
probably still now because they're
okay.
very fussy about which teams get gold. I think
Mm,
probably the champions only because I know Leicester City and Man City had
yeah.
gold and Man United had gold numbering. So they're quite fussy.
Yes.
So I like the idea of the colors, but I'm not 100% sold yet. Normally, I'm sold quite early when it comes
Mm,
to the
mm,
kits. Um,
mm,
but because I know that these are all heavily edited and they're just using
yes.
probably the correct examples from rumors, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to end up. It's going to actually end up
Yeah.
being close. And you also see that on the two pictures, the Fly Emirates is gold on the one and then white on
Yes.
the other one.
White on the other. Yeah.
So that doesn't, but I'm
Yeah.
assuming the style is going to be the same. I think the style will be the
Okay.
same. Just we will probably have to wait till it gets to when they release it, because when the players are in it,
Yeah.
it's going to look so much better. Because even the
Yeah.
Bukayo Saka one is so heavily edited that it doesn't look like a player's fit.
Mm, mm. When did they
Right. So
release it? Usually end of the season. May.
yeah,
May 10.
yes, that's correct. Yes, and I wouldn't advise us to wear kits, especially when we're busy fighting for. Sometimes they bring the new kit out the last.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, not all the time. I wouldn't
In the
advise
last
that,
one.
especially if it's a tight game, and then you are, have
Yeah.
to remember that you lost the league on the
Yeah.
last day with this new kit, which stems into the new
Yeah.
season. It
Yeah.
sounds very small, but believe me, it probably has
No.
some sort of psychological effect on the players.
Yeah. I agree with you.
There we go. Next slide. Contract talk, Paul. Right. So, Paul,
Okay.
I don't know how clear you can see everything because sometimes it's smaller for others and smaller and bigger for me.
Yeah. I can see. I can see.
Okay. So, you'll notice at the top. So, I've obviously added in key first team players that have re signed in this season. So,
Okay.
Gabriel, I think it was December sometime.
Mm.
So it was still not during the World Cup, but I think it was announced. I think it was actually during the final stages of the World Cup. I think in the week sometime Arsenal did some sort of thing. So he's now
Yeah.
going to go on through till 2027. El
Okay.
Neni, we obviously saw while he was injured. I think we discussed it even about
Mm.
us re-signing him, but I think it isn't necessarily got to do with game time or squad depth. It's more
Mm.
got to do with external factors, I think, because we are going to probably
Okay.
get a 6 and a 8. So when I say that, somebody that plays both, or we're going to
Yeah.
get two midfielders in, a young midfielder and an experienced one, which we'll get to now when we discuss our
Mm.
dream signings, if
Sign.
I can call
Yeah.
it. Obviously, we know that it's been confirmed that Martinelli has signed on. So that's awesome
Yes.
news. And there's a whole
Yeah.
lot of rumors coming around. I see if you go on YouTube and you type in Saka, there's a
Mm.
lot of uh, 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 news and lots of
Yeah.
content creators discussing the fact that Saka is going to get a £300,000 per week
Yes.
contract. Have you heard that? And what's your
I've
opinion?
heard, I've heard that. I think it was today or yesterday. I saw the deadline.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's probably deserved. He's one of our key players, if not our most crucial player. But he's still young to get that amount.
Exactly. Because
And
remember, there's
and
going to be another
I hope it doesn't mess with his head.
100%. No, I agree with you because the two previous players that we've broken our wage structure for, we know that's ended,
Mm.
Ozil and Aubameyang. Even though that
Yeah.
was their last contracts, that's why it was that high. But the thing with
Yes.
Bukayo is, and everybody wants to keep him. We're not
Yeah.
contradicting that fact. We're just talking about the fact
Mm.
that this
Mm.
is not his last contract. Whether it's his last contract with
No.
us, it's a different story. But it
Yeah.
just makes it difficult for someone else to sign him at the end of the day. So if we are
Yes.
happy to
Okay.
pay
Yeah.
him now, and we're happy to pay that in the next contract, that's if he decides to stay. We
Yeah.
don't know if there's a release clause, so it's either a quiet release clause, so meaning where we will never hear about it, but then we just see he's bought for 120 in 2027
Yeah.
because he wants to move
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
to a different project. But
Mm.
I'm sure he's in it for the long run. That's not the issue. The thing is just, and I'm agreeing with you, it's because Martinelli is going to be on 200,000, Saka
Okay.
300,000, uh,
Mm.
Gabriel Jesus. Now, when I go on all these sites, that gives you each one gives you a different wage. The one that I
Yes.
believe is 220 plus bonuses,
Okay.
easily obtainable bonuses, which
Yes.
might be 10 goals, and he hasn't received 10 goals. So he can't get 260,000 a week because he hasn't scored 10
Mm-hmm.
goals yet. Not his fault, he's
Mm.
injured. But I'm assuming
Yeah.
things like that, making the Champions League, and then you either get bonuses at that time or your wage gets increased automatically. So I think that is how
Yes.
it works, just based
Okay.
on what I've read over the years. It's not that I'm in the know or anything. It's just
Yes.
uh, reading books and those type of things. That is how I've
Mm.
read so many agents' books already. So I don't know. They
Okay.
could be lying in the books, but then now whose truth do you now actually believe? Do you believe
Yeah.
a newspaper, a website? Because I've gone to 6 different websites and all of them
Yeah.
have different wages.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Jesus and for Thomas Partey, who's supposed to be our highest paid players. But
Yeah.
um, um, I don't know if there's other clubs that's willing to pay 500,000 pounds a week, which we won't do.
Sure.
So I'm assuming we probably had to have some sort of ceiling, and that is rumored 300,000. But again, I'm assuming it's like the Jesus one, where it
Mm.
is performance based. So you get like a sales guy, you get your basic,
Yeah.
and you get
Yes.
performance related bonuses onto that. So the
Yeah. Yeah.
newspapers will tell you 300,000. He probably either never will or
Mm.
eventually will get 300,000 based on
Yeah.
you must score 20 goals next season, then you
So
get another
yeah.
20,000 if you look at the
Mm.
overall package. So I don't think there's
Yeah.
a guaranteed so and so at Arsenal because we are trying to
Mm.
change the way we do things.
Okay.
Just your thoughts on the other three names. I'm not going to say anything further.
The three at the bottom.
The three at the bottom, yeah. The top is sorted. So these are rumored
Yeah.
that they will. Just remember
Okay.
the numbers I've got at the bottom is the for the guys that's got the hourglass. This is
Mm.
their current contract ends at that year.
In.
So this isn't what
Okay.
they're rumored to get going forward. This is their current
Yeah.
ending time for their contract. Because Saliba, there was a contract extension by a year. Arsenal
Yes.
chose the extra year.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think those three, Saliba, Odegaard, and Xhaka, they should get contract renewals.
Okay. Yeah.
Sambi, I don't think we've seen lots of potential from him. And if we sign a new 6 and 8, it puts him further down the pecking order.
Mm. I honestly believe, Paul, that there's some players that we bought to try to get a resale value out of them. So, meaning
Okay.
Tavares,
Okay.
he's doing well at
Yes.
Marseille. We're looking to sell him for, I would assume, 20 million plus. Um,
Mm.
I'm just thinking now out loud. I don't know if Arsenal wants that much or if it's too little for them, but 20
Mm.
million up, you're not going to sell him
Yeah.
in England, which is where the money is. So, I'm assuming it's
Mm.
going to be tough for another
Mm.
couple of years for Italian and Spanish teams to be able to afford
Yeah.
that for not starting players, if I can call it that. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
slightly bigger, let's say top 5 Italian, Spanish, German teams. So I
Mm.
think
Mm.
Arsenal wants to try to get in the vicinity of 10 million more than these players were bought for. However,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
the problem now with Sambi Lokonga, if it's not going to be in England, so if he doesn't continue to perform, and he has been doing well at Palace, I think we bought
Yeah.
him for 16.5 million pounds, which is 20 million euros.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we obviously cannot now sell him for 20 million. So you
Mm.
could
Mm.
see a situation where he's coming back, contract extended by 2 more years, possibility of loaning him out again, and then trying to get a
Mm.
higher resale value, or his value will be the highest after the season with Palace. but now he's going to play for
Oh yeah.
Hodgson. Is Hodgson, would you say, he's probably going to have to be defensive? And would Sambi
Yes.
Lakonga thrive in a defensive style of play, in your opinion, Paul?
No, I don't think so. No,
Yeah. So
it's
there we
not.
go.
It's not built like that.
Yeah. So it's more a possession-based team type of a thing. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's so he's been doing well under Vieira because it's been a possession-based. I don't know why they
Mhm.
sacked the guy, but they play a
Yeah.
possession
Yeah.
football when they play against, let's say, not really your top teams. They
Mm.
obviously had to change their style of play for the likes of Liverpool and these type of teams. But I thought they
Yes.
did okay. They were
Yeah.
12th. They are now playing the lower team, so it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it's panic. It's just pure panic. They want
Yeah.
to stay in the league, and it's they're 3 points off the bottom. So I
Yeah.
can understand why the panic.
Mm. But it's a but
Vieira,
it's a step
Vieira,
backwards.
yeah. So I don't
It's a
know.
step back.
I agree with you, but being our devil's advocate and outside
Mm.
of the Crystal Palace bubble, they
Yeah.
panicked and they want to get
Mm.
someone that will almost guarantee that they don't go down. But nothing is a
Yes.
guarantee in life. And
Mm-mm.
everybody in the bottom seven are going to fight for their lives. So that's why we need to be careful, especially when we get to the slide where I show the fixtures. We need
Yeah.
to be careful. Righto. So, Paul, this is my dream signing. Allow me to just quickly explain, and then you can obviously delve into either these players or your thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to go
Okay.
from left to right.
Okay.
Okay, so the Hoyland guy. So I've been watching this guy. I'm now being a scout. I'm being a scout for
Yeah.
Arsenal. So there is articles, and I'm referring to the Athletic, that's busy talking about the fact that
Mm.
Arsenal want a different type of a striker to Jesus,
Okay.
Balogun, and Nketiah. They are all seen as similar type of players, meaning
Yes.
not very tall, low center of
Mm.
gravity, and they can come deep to collect the ball. So all three of them does that. Even though
Yeah.
Nketiah is more in the box player, since
Mm.
Jesus' injury, he has started to come deep, has started to drift wide, while
Mm.
our wide players go centrally. This guy,
Yes.
your Haaland type, I know he's got a similar name. He's Danish, he's not
Yeah.
Norwegian,
Mm.
and he's been
Okay.
brilliant for Inter. So I'm one of the few people that tends to, you can call it 20-minute highlights, but I watch at least the top six of every league, the main leagues
Okay.
now. I tend to watch the top
Yeah.
six. I'm not sitting in my room watching 2 hour games. It's 20 minutes. But when you
Okay.
see highlights, you can sometimes see, and then when you see someone that does well, then I go and
Mm.
delve a little bit deeper into it. So that's how I got to this guy.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay.
for Seaman and these guys, 130 million, you just don't see Arsenal spending 130 million,
Yeah.
120 million, 70 million to finish off the squad, even though that's probably what it's going to take to be able to
Yeah.
compete at the higher echelons consistently, meaning don't give away the Carabao Cup anymore, don't give away the FA Cup anymore,
Mm.
don't play a
Yeah.
second team in the Champions League. We now need to
Yeah.
now think forward now. So I've got
Mm.
Hoyland over there in terms of a different striker. That's why I got to him.
Mm.
Without now dragging this little segment, we know why we want Rice. 6 and 8 role.
Mm.
He can fulfill the Thomas Partey role. He does that for England. And he
Yes.
at times has fulfilled the Xhaka role for West Ham, especially when they played
Mm.
three holding midfielders. Then so
Yes.
it's Suchek. I don't know who's the third guy. So Suchek himself and a third guy. When they sometimes play
Mm.
4-3-3 with three flat midfielders, he tended to be the
Mm.
left eight, which is what Xhaka is.
Okay.
So he
Yeah.
hasn't got the left foot, and Arteta likes balance. He likes to have a left-footed eight,
Mm.
even
I know,
though
right?
I'm contradicting myself because our number 10/8 is left-footed as well.
Yes.
But you
Yeah.
get my drift. We've got Zinchenko that comes into the field of play.
Mm.
You've got Saka that drifts between wide and coming towards the center of the field, and then obviously Martinelli is a right-footed winger. So just
Yeah.
just thinking, of it, I am not certain if a left eight right footer works for Arteta. I've
Mm.
actually just thought of that now. So it's possible that he would then be a Thomas Partey replacement or someone that
Okay.
will build into that role.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you think if you on the same lines. I have seen him play left eight. If I'm now
Mm.
he
Yes.
can play both roles if Arsenal are going to spend 70 million on one player. We know the money is there.
Yeah.
We went almost up to 80 million for Caicedo. So there
Mm.
can't be, especially if Champions League football is guaranteed. Remember, that's
Yes.
200 million when you look at competition money
Yeah.
and you look
Yeah.
at TV money. That's almost 200 million guaranteed.
Mm.
So from an income perspective, and then you got sponsorships and all these things. That's our Adidas deal is going to improve, and the Emirates
Mm.
deal is going to improve. I don't know if that money has been paid out yet to us because remember we've been
Okay.
spending a lot on players. So I can't
Yes.
sit and tell you that that money is going to be in June available. It might have been like paid out to us already. That's why we've been.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
we've been spending almost 200 million per window. So other than the
Yeah.
January window, so and we're not selling well. So somewhere the money has to come from, that to balance
Mm.
the books at the end of the day. So obviously I've had to put someone in that we have no chance of getting. Jude Bellingham,
Yeah.
and he's Dortmund's going to ask for 140 million. So it's just his transfer mark value is 110 million.
Oh.
I feel for us to dominate, we are not talking about competing. We're talking about dominating
Mm.
in
Yeah.
the similar lines of Man City. We need
Mm.
someone that can score goals and control the
Mm.
tempo of a game, whether it's to slow
Yeah.
things down or to play that fast football that we like to play. And that is
Yes.
140 million rated Jude Bellingham. Arsenal will
Mm.
be, they can spend less money on amicable or good backup players that can push your first teamers if
Yeah.
money is an issue. And obviously we know that he needs to want to come. His family are all Liverpool fans. Real Madrid are
Yes.
busy talking about big installments to Dortmund.
Sure.
Arsenal's no longer installments FC. It's not the Pepe stories anymore.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I'm not in the know of Arsenal's finances, but when I
Yeah.
think about it sensically, if that's even a word,
Mm.
uh, like I just mentioned now, Champions League money and all those type of
Yeah.
things coming in. You have money
Yeah.
still left from January because you bid 100 million for Mudrik or 90 million for Mudrik, obviously in installments,
Yeah.
and you bid
Yeah.
80 million plus for Caicedo. So there
Yeah.
is money there from January. So I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm not saying Arsenal's going to spend 300 million. I'm saying we need to now get players that's going to
Yeah.
be of high value to
Yeah.
supplement this team because
We need to push
we don't
on.
want to be in a we don't want to be in a situation where it's dropping too much. So now we're worried.
Mm.
Thomas Partey is coming now back now, and there's talk of him. They're going to have a chat, well, not a chat. They're going to check up on him every time he goes
Yeah.
down. I just watched Norway now. Odegaard went down
Mm.
twice. It was like just normal tackles, but he's on the floor. No one
Yeah.
else is on. So now you're stressing the
Yeah.
whole time. It's almost time for the Switzerland game. So Xhaka is also playing now. So our entire
Yes.
midfield today. Uh, 6 o'clock.
Mm.
Well, yesterday was Thomas Partey. He didn't play. They took him off.
Yeah.
But just quickly on Fresh Nader as well. He can play right wing back, left wing back, right back, left back. Under 10 million value. It's obviously going to be more. The club would want more.
Mm.
We did put a
Yeah.
bid in, which I don't know what was the reason for it not going through. Newcastle's
Mm.
also interested. But
Okay.
this is somebody that in the event that Tomiyasu keeps getting injured, Tierney either
Yeah.
keeps getting injured or he wants to go for more first team football, then
Yes.
this is the replacement. He can play at both fullbacks. And Kivior just
Mm.
proved that he can play on both fullbacks as well. So
Yeah.
any other names that you would like to mention, Paul?
um.
Remember, it's dream signing.
No.
It doesn't need to be realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. I like. I like the look of Ivan Tony,
Mm-hmm.
but with his potential ban coming up, and also, I think a lot of clubs will be in for him. Um. And it'll be a lot of money for a guy that might not start. But I like the look of him. He's a big, strong,
Mm-hmm.
um, works hard in the box, scoring goals, and he's good in the air. So that will be like an alternative. But
And
you
he
say
won't
this
score
guy
again.
against us, and but you say this guy is similar. What's his name?
Hoyland, yeah.
Ojland.
So he's similar, younger, doesn't have any problems off the field. But
Okay.
I'm 100% with you. Tony is my first option as a striker if we could get him. If there was no off-field
Okay.
issues, he's my first
Yeah.
option. But he
Yeah.
would be 50 million plus.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
He will be
But
more than
maybe
eligible.
even more,
He
maybe
will be
more
more
if
than
United doesn't come into the party.
yeah.
Um.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely
But
think the team will come in for him.
mm,
Have you got
but
a
I'm thinking
midfield?
also for Partey, we would need a potential replacement for Partey. The injuries at key moments, and that's for quite long at the time. We would need to cover ourselves there.
Mhm. Are you happy with Rice? Should that become to fruition, you like
Yeah.
him or what?
Yes.
So he would be
No, I
perfect.
like him. Yeah. No, I like him.
What
Quality player.
quality?
He's been in the English league
Mhm.
for quite some time with it. Is he 26 or 25? How old is he now?
I don't know. I'm
I know
bad
he
with age.
started.
24, 25, 26, 25.
I think
24, 25.
because he started when he was what 18, 19. Started playing
Yes, yes,
already,
yes.
or was in the
I'm
West
going to
Ham
check
squad.
while you talk.
Yeah. So no, Rice. I would definitely go for Rice. Yeah, could cover that
24
six
years
and eight.
old.
Okay, that's perfect. It fits in with
14, yeah, 14 Jan
what.
1999. Gee was I feel old now.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're getting old. Yeah, we're getting old. Um. Yeah, definitely a right back or a left back
Mhm. Do you think someone that
because the
plays both?
yeah, someone that plays both is perfect. Even though Tomiyasu looks good at left back and right back, but
Yes.
also the injuries.
The injuries is the only reason. I'm very happy with
Yeah,
him. It's just the injuries.
yeah.
That's now his
Do we
third
do we
injury.
carry on with Ben White at right back going forward?
I think we will, yeah. But we're gonna have to start playing him at centre back in the event that we don't. We're obviously not gonna buy another centre back. In the
Mm,
event that we're moving on from holding, we're gonna need to start playing him. Not this season. We might
mm.
need to play him. No, 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 no. Because we have one right back only, he has to play right back. We will
Yeah.
still. I think we'll get to that when we start discussing or deep diving into the team, because
Mm,
we're obviously at that situation now where we're now thinking of who's going to play right back. And obviously,
yeah.
I sent you a message earlier where they said that Kivio played at right back.
Right back. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
basically played left centre back, then he played left back, then they made another sub and he played right back. So he's
Okay.
adaptable. His score was
Mm,
4 out of 10, so that means he didn't have a great game, but maybe that's because he was moving all over the pitch.
out of position. Yeah. But he's
Right.
and he's also still young.
No, 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 he is. He is.
20,
So I don't
yeah.
know if it looks like we've got two left-footed options that can play right back in Tierney
Mm,
and Vio. They both played for their country at right back, and then obviously we
okay.
have Saliba who played right back at Saint Etienne when
Oh,
I
okay.
think they had
Yeah.
four centre backs at the time just before we signed him, and they
Mm,
played with Fana, somebody else at right centre back, and then he played right
mm,
back for about 15 games in a row. I don't know if he was
okay.
any good, but he has
Mm,
played there. It's not somebody that you're going to throw in, out of the blue.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've seen he's got skill. Eh? He put the ball
Yes.
through someone's legs a number of times, not just once. I know it's
Yeah.
been a couple
Yeah.
of times. Right,
Very, very
Paul?
comfortable. Yeah.
Very, very comfortable. Paul, so love the chat, but it is going on now, like in terms of time. So I'm gonna have to run through, and we can obviously delve into it again. Just your
Okay.
thoughts on our games. So you'll see in this list that I've got here. Obviously, we are 8 points clear, having played a game more. And you've obviously
Yeah.
on your own as well checked through the stuff. I've got Man City and
Mm,
Arsenal in goal because they're playing each other. And in
yes.
green, other than Chelsea, I forgot to make Chelsea in green. We are playing the
Okay.
same team. So can
Yeah.
you just point out to me your thoughts on our run? I'm not going to speak about City because then it's going to take us too long. So your
Yeah. Yeah.
thoughts on our 10 games. Where do you see the problems come?
Okay.
If you
Definitely
see them.
Liverpool away,
Mhm.
but they very inconsistent. One game they win 7-0, Next game they lose 1-0 to Bournemouth. So I
Yeah.
think we can get the result there.
Okay. Agree.
Um, West Ham shouldn't be a problem. Southampton at home shouldn't be a problem. City away, that's a big one.
100%.
I would love a draw there.
Mm.
I would love a draw because a draw will also just keep them at bay.
At bay, yeah.
Um, yeah. Although if all things remain constant, our team should be at its strongest. Jesus should be back. Partey should be fine. Zinchenko, everyone should be fit. So we can actually go
Full
at them.
strength.
But I'm afraid if we have a go at them, we might slip up like at the Emirates and give
Mm.
them a way in. And we shouldn't actually lose that game. We should just contain them.
Contain them.
Um, Chelsea at home. Chelsea also another inconsistent team. Newcastle away, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Hmm.
Solid defense. They're not scoring much, but and they are starting to concede.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a tricky one. Forest away also that could be a tricky one. Apparently at home they're very good
They
at
are good,
the
yeah.
what's it ground, but also have been
Yeah.
starting to concede a lot. And oh, I missed Brighton. Brighton also
They beat us the
very
last
attacking.
three to the Emirates.
Yeah. And with us playing a high line, they've got pace on the wings. They
Mitoma.
can
Oh
get
my
they
word.
can get yeah, they can get behind us. So that's also a tricky one. Um, but yeah, other than that, we should win all the others.
Okay. So this is just I've thumb sucked this. I've gone
Mm,
us to win everything except Liverpool away, to draw
mm,
there and then to lose to Man City and to get 94
okay,
points to win the league by
okay,
4 points. However, I'm still saying
so
I still feel City will take it. How weird is that?
okay,
I've
yeah, yeah,
worked
yeah. No, no, no.
I've worked out that we're winning the league by 4 points, but you've
Yeah,
got that other part of you in your head, that
yes,
just doesn't quite believe yet. Arsenal's
yes,
done everything they could to make me believe. I feel we've
yeah,
won certain games that we normally lost. We've gotten late
yeah,
winners a number of times. We have
yes, yes,
scored early a load of times, which is very important for how you
yeah,
build your innings in a game. It's just
yeah.
the issue that I've got is, and I've said it in my podcast, and I've said it to you, to all my buddies. Up north,
Mm,
we have a problem. I don't know what's going on. Do they
mm,
give us some sort of stuff in our food? But
yeah.
lost to
That's
Man
cold.
United,
It's cold up north.
and that too, yeah. Lost to Man United, lost to Everton, already lost in the
Yeah.
cup to Man City.
Mm,
We did beat Liverpool on our patch. We beat Everton on our patch. We beat Man United on our
mm,
patch. That's not the problem. The problem
yeah,
is when we go
yeah,
north, meaning Liverpool, Newcastle, Everton,
yeah.
the Man
And
City. When we
city.
go that side of
Mm,
England, we have
mm,
got 0 points. Last thing on this run-in, lost to Man City last season in the same
mm,
fixture, lost to Chelsea at home. Remember Lukaku's double. Lost to
yes.
Newcastle, lost to Brighton, lost to Forest
Sure.
in the FA Cup with the white shirts. That was last season. We don't want to think about
Mm,
last season, but
yeah.
I'm still not 100% confident yet because on the one hand, I'm looking at us, and then I'm looking at Man City. Now, even though they've got form, they haven't been brilliant this season.
Mm-mm.
Uh, if you're with me, and remember, they've got FA Cup semi-final before a big game.
Yeah.
They've got the two Champions League quarter-final games. I'm hoping
Yeah.
they go through. Then they have to play Real
Yeah.
Madrid or Chelsea. Very tough two
Mm,
games. Right there at the end of the, I think they have to play Fulham, Leeds, Everton. It's around about that time where they will be playing that Champions League semi-finals, and they have to play Chelsea. Do you know that they could be
yeah.
playing Chelsea home and away, and that second last game? So they could be playing Chelsea three times.
Okay. Yes.
A
Yes. Yeah.
Chelsea that could be improving. So
Yeah. Yeah.
even though we're looking at us, and I'm analyzing games based on historic results, that's
Okay.
maybe not
Okay.
the way to go. Go according to the
Mm,
fact that Arsenal's the best team away from home. We've controlled most of our away games, including Man United. The only game we
mm,
didn't control, and also to a large extent, Southampton, which we drew, and Leeds United,
yeah.
which we were lucky to win away from home. We controlled
Mm,
every other away game. So we need to kind of take that into account as well from the positive standpoint.
Yeah.
There we go. Righto. So, Paul, I'm going to run through the last slides. So now we're looking ahead to Arsenal Leeds. Okay. So I've got the teams here. So basically, I've got the team that I would select. I can't remember if this
Mm.
team started. I think Trossard is the only change from our last league game against
Yes.
Palace.
Yes.
I think Trossard started. So in my team, I would play Trossard. Sorry, Jesus, as I have it here.
Okay.
Your team, Paul, for this coming Saturday, 4 o'clock
I would.
kickoff.
I would still play Trossard.
Okay, so is that the only change you'll make based on my team?
That's on your team. Yes. Let me just see. Odegaard, Xhaka. Yes. Yeah.
100%.
That's the only change.
Just
Yeah. So I would
quickly
start
running
Trossard.
on. Yeah, I agree. Just running on to the lead side, I don't know how to say his name, Nonto and Verber.
Nanto, yeah.
So
Yes.
they left centre back and left wing. They both
Yeah.
went off injured, and they've been brilliant for Leeds. So they both went
Mm-hmm.
off injured in the international break. So when you see
Yeah.
the next slide where I talk about Leeds' team news, there's quite a strong chance that they might not make it. And then we're obviously still
Okay.
waiting on our side for Nketiah and Saliba. So we're
Mhm.
not sure yet. There's been no information on
Oh yes.
Saliba's situation. If it was serious, we
Yeah.
would have known because they told us Tommy was out for the season. So
Mm.
Saliba could actually make the bench on Saturday. That's also another
Okay.
thing. And then I've got here
Yes.
news on Thomas Partey. They are expecting him back at London Colney. It was probably today sometime where they will assess him.
Mm.
So he felt something in his right leg. So once again, it's muscular on the legs. So if it's not groin,
Mm.
it's calf. If it's not calf, it's hamstring. If it's not hamstring,
Yeah.
it's quad or adductor,
Yeah.
abductors. So it's all these low extremity
Mm.
injuries. So he doesn't get anything super serious, but it's like enough to take him out for 3 to 6 games. So hopefully that is
Yeah.
not the case. We can't be in a situation where he doesn't go to Anfield yet again. You know that he hasn't been to
Mm.
Anfield in any of the hammerings. So that
Sure.
we've had since I don't think he's actually played any game. He might have played.
Okay.
No, he wasn't. He didn't play the 0-0 draw where Xhaka got sent off because he was at AFCON.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I don't think he played in I think there might have been a League Cup game where we won on penalties. He didn't play
Mm.
that one either. And he didn't play any of the hammerings that we got. He's always injured when he
Okay.
went to Anfield. So he could be, hopefully, Easter Sunday, hopefully will be his first game at Anfield since he played
Yeah.
for Atletico Madrid when Atletico Madrid knocked out Liverpool of the
Okay.
Champions League,
Yes.
and he was man of the
Yeah.
match. So I don't know if there's some sort
Okay.
of curse going. I don't believe in curses, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, just thinking that. So this article
Yeah.
is quite small. It's basically what I said, where Gnonto and Verber they both got injuries on international duty, and they will be assessed at the
Mm.
time of the article. So
Okay.
here we have it. I just want to quickly run over my shows that I've got for anybody that's watching. So on a Friday afternoon, I post my podcast on Spotify and iTunes. I normally record it on a Thursday night because that's when it's less noisy in my vicinity. On a Sunday
Mm.
afternoon, I post Off Your Game. So it's a show that I have with Joshua, a Liverpool fan. So that's basically a Premier League show, which I record on a Saturday morning and I post it on a Sunday. Then I always have a little 8 to 12 minute reaction video from the weekend. So it's either the ladies team or that played over the weekend or our first team that played. So, for example, I'll do a Leeds reaction on Monday morning. And then every
Yeah.
Wednesday, I'm going to have a show, whether I'm solo or Paul joins or your good old buddy Peter joins or my buddies
Yeah.
in Pretoria if they join. So I will obviously communicate that in advance. So
Mm.
that's where we are, Mr. Paul. Hope you enjoyed today's show.
Yeah. It was good. It
There
was
we go.
good.
It was good
Thanks.
to reminisce, eh?
Yeah. No, we need to catch up again and yeah, maybe watch a game together.
I think we should. Soon we will be champions of England.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Oh,
All
it's
the
gonna
best, my
be.
brother. I'm going to play the show outro. I will speak to you now again.
Okay.